Welcome to Own Your Zone podcast, where we feature venture capitalists, innovators, angels, and other investors who create positive impact globally. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hi, I'm JiNan Glasgow, George. I'm a patent attorney and founder of Neo IP. We're a law firm that helps clients maximize their return on investment for patent assets. I'm also the host of this show, where we feature venture capitalists, private equity funds, angel investors, and innovators. I have with me today Ted Mosler, but before we start the show, let me have a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Neo IP. We help companies increase their valuation and protect their business through strategic IP asset creation and connecting clients with resources that they need to make positive commercial impact. We provide legal services to help companies understand their competitive context, develop strategic portfolios, and monetize their IP assets. We believe intellectual property is a valuable business asset with exceptional potential. Neo IP is here to help you protect it. Learn more about us at neoipassets.com. Ted Mosler, the CEO of Gilero, is here today. Gilero provides contract design, development, and manufacturing of biomedical devices. He's a true innovator and investor. Gilero is headquartered in RTP, North Carolina, and has manufacturing facilities in North Carolina, China, and Mexico. Welcome to the podcast, Ted.
Thanks, JiNan. Happy to be here.
Good to see you. Well, we've known each other a pretty long time, almost 20 years since you founded Gilero. Tell us how you got started.
I tell people all the time I'm a design guy. I'm a mechanical engineer by background and designer of medical devices. So I was always entrepreneurial, felt entrepreneurial, just didn't know what I wanted to pursue. I was working my day job in early 2000, 2001 timeframe. And I met two other gentlemen, both engineers that I worked with at the company at the time that I worked for. I had just finished my MBA. So I had some tools in my toolbox that I wanted to put to work. And really what I learned in all that your team is really what's most important. So if you can find a team that you can pursue a venture with, then together you can kind of work out the details of that venture. So that's kind of how it got started. I first met the team, and then we selected, Gilero as the venture to pursue.
Awesome. And how big have you grown now? You started with just a few people, and now you've got sites all around the world. Tell us a little bit about how you've grown.
Yeah, so Gilero, we started with a group of 3. Now we have 100 people in North America, and we have 115 people in Asia. We're on a pretty steep part of our curve in the life cycle. It has been 20 years now, but it was pretty steady, I'll say slow growth for the first 15 or so. We're starting to pick up the pace in the last 5.
Yeah.
We have about 60 people on our design and development team. That'll go to 120 in a few years. And our manufacturing will grow significantly from where it is today.
What were the biggest turning points, if any, along the way?
That's a good question. Talking about innovation and patents and investing, one of the most important turning points was early on in our career, where we were 3 engineers, no real good sales and marketing experience. And so we sold our expertise in the form of we created some solutions for some known problems that we knew existed. And so we took those solutions to a couple different medical device companies, and they both were interested immediately. And we were, 3 poor engineers at the time. And we worked out a upfront payment, a royalty stream, and an ongoing development contract. And that was a key turning point in our business. where we could get the bills paid from the early days, and we were kind of off to the races at that point.
Oh, fantastic. And you've had many milestones since then. Is there one product that you designed or developed that you're most proud of, or a couple?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of them. We developed a line of closed system transfer devices. These are devices that safeguard clinicians from exposure to chemo drugs. So when you're going through cancer treatment of chemotherapy, obviously these drugs kind of bring your body somewhat to the breaking point to kill cells.
Yeah.
And so they're dangerous for the caregivers to deliver if they're delivering chemo drugs to patients all day, every day for their career. And so developing that product line really, that was the product that became that turning point we talked about early on. So we're very proud of that. That product is being sold around the globe with multiple different partners, distributors, and direct sales channels around the globe. And so that one's I could talk about a peripheral, it was a urinary catheter product. So not well known, but wheelchair bound patients, quadriplegics, and paraplegics, they are not able to void. And so giving them tools can give that patient population freedoms. Yeah. And so we developed a line of products that allowed this patient population to self-care versus having a third party take care of it for them. And so that was really, I think, life-changing for this patient population. And so, there are so many products that we've developed over the years, in 20 years. Like right now we have 100 active projects. That's probably 100, and it's probably 80 separate products. I could talk all day about the different products and product types.
No, I love it. You're making such positive impact, not just for your company and your team, but also in the lives of people who need the products that you're designing, developing, and manufacturing, people all over the planet. Now, so you have manufacturing in Southeast Asia and also in North America, inside the US and outside. What kind of differences or challenges have you experienced just from, these various locations? I imagine they were great and many.
Yeah, so take Asia, for instance. The last couple of years has been challenging with the pandemic, but it really hasn't stopped that particular site from being quite productive. That location, we build injection mold tooling and mold parts. And so you saw a big shift from America to outside of the US in the ability and the number of people trained in tool making, for instance. So these skilled craftsmen who can build these tools. We certainly have that capability still in America, but not by volume, not in sheer volume. So having the tool making location in Asia keeps our tool costs down, but scaling it is quite, I'll say, easy because of the number of skilled tradesmen who are available and willing and interested in taking on that skill and that craft. So being able to remain productive and building tooling has not been the challenge. The challenge is as soon as you put it on a ship or a boat and getting it here in a timely manner, that's been the real challenge. If you look at North America, we have incredible capabilities and plenty of people in the United States who want, at least in my viewpoint, who want to do the type of manufacturing work that we do. And our customer base, pharmaceutical companies specifically, they have great comfort in our U.S. Ability to manufacture. And so for us, having this flexibility to leverage groups like our team in Asia to do tool making, but say our group in the United States and North Carolina to do manufacturing of the finished devices, we can kind of pull certain levers. For our traditional medical device companies, a lot of these products tend to be more cost sensitive, but having it just south of the border, we can leverage some high volume of lower cost labor so we can meet the certain cost targets that our customers require for them to be competitive in the marketplace. So we leverage all of these capabilities and these differences out of necessity, really, to be able to compete globally.
Sure. And I imagine that you've probably traveled more in the past than today. So how are you managing communication and the common culture of your teams?
Yeah, so we're on Zoom today, but we rolled out Microsoft Teams, I think in January, February of 2020 across the entire organization. So I'd say we lucked out a little bit with getting very used to this form of communication. It was challenging early on to travel, but today we all, generally jump on the planes if we need to.
Yeah.
Not yet to China, but I know our team is coming to North America. Mm-hmm. And, we haven't really seen any major obstacles because of the tools and because of the, things lightning these days. So.
Yeah, that's great to hear how you've navigated all of that. So your team is growing. We know it's a really competitive environment now for hiring. How are you growing your team of engineers and with all the expertise that you need? And any thoughts you can share with us there about overcoming those challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. We spent a lot of effort on this in the past few years. The prices have gone up for labor. So the environment's even more competitive. So we hired an compensation expert to kind of analyze our entire workforce, make some recommendations for some essentially pay increases to help to retain. We also put in place a performance-based bonus program for our team. So again, keeping our compensation and our kind of human resource activities competitive in the marketplace. As from a recruiting standpoint, we have leveraged tools like Indeed and LinkedIn and recruiters, but truthfully, we're kind of zeroed in on LinkedIn.
Okay.
We've leveraged that, I would say, most successfully to recruit team members across all of our sites. Something I didn't mention is we've expanded our design and development team, and we have offices in Chicago, Southern California, Carlsbad, California, North Carolina. We're opening an office in Ireland. Oh, wow. The nice part about a tool like LinkedIn, it is a global tool as well. And because we can flex, and as we are today on Zoom, or we can collaborate quite closely, we'll post a position in multiple locations. And so we're increasing our hit rate, let's say, because we have multiple locations looking for the same general talent. And so that's been quite useful. So our efficiency with adding team members has improved because we are in multiple places around the world now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I understand that you have some of your children who are going into engineering as well. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. I didn't mention, although I think I should, interns and co-op students. We're humongous proponents of that. We're in the Research Triangle Park area, and it's kind of got its name for the local universities between NC State, Duke, and UNC. And so there's enormous talent where I sit. And so at any one time, we'll have 6 or 8 engineering interns or co-op students around our company. So in Southern California, UCSD's nearby. In Ireland, we're right on the same campus as a technical university. And similarly in Chicago, we leverage these students, and I'm not ashamed to say I've leveraged two of my children as well, who are both engineering students right now. So
yeah, I think that's great. You're
Yeah.
you're investing in the next generation of engineers. I think that's super. It's really fantastic. You've been an active angel investor, I think, through the NC State Wolfpack Investor Network, and then on your own. And I understand that you're doing venture capital investing now. Can you tell us a little bit about your investment point of view?
Yes. So Gilero is unique in that we do work for large pharmaceutical companies, large medical device companies as a service, right? We provide design and development services, but we also work with innovative doctors who have a great idea,
Okay.
and any size of company in between. And so you can imagine these docs want to see their great ideas get to market. And so we're in a great position to see many new, unique solutions to these medical challenges. And so we have placed some bets over the years. And so it is venture investing in that we're investing money and time early. And so we have the ability, and where we can take a product all the way to market, so we can eliminate a lot of those risks that come with early investing. So we're investing in things we know, people and products that we believe in. Mm-hmm. And it's been a nice addition to our business, being able to do this venture investing. So we've invested in products like arterial hemostasis devices, skin numbing devices, and drug access and reconstitution products. And we are evaluating multiple now. We tend to run to about 2 or 3 at a time, because we don't like to put little bets on lots of things. We place some bigger bets on a few things that we can advance all the way to the finish line, all the way to the market.
And so you're kind of de-risking it along the way. That's
absolutely. We're eliminating the regulatory risk by getting the clearance. We're eliminating the IP risk by I had to be careful with the words with a patent attorney on the other line. We're minimizing the IP risk by getting the patents applied for, issued, navigating intellectual property or prior art that's out there. And so we have a really good understanding of where the product is from an IP perspective.
Imagine IP is really important in medical device, obviously from an investor view as
really
well.
Is hugely important. And so you have to understand where each product is going to be commercialized, where it's going to be made, so you can protect this asset in the right locations around the globe, and being really smart with the spend around IP, so that you can increase the value of the product, but then protect the life of it. So it's really neat. Medical devices have multiple barriers of entry that we're navigating with our clients. And so IP is one of those barriers to entry for others, as well as ourselves and our customers. The regulatory is a barrier to entry. Being able to scale a device, so it's great to make one of something, but how do you make 1 million of that thing? And so coming up with unique ways to reduce costs and ways to reduce the kind of upfront investment, that's a big hurdle as well for companies.
You've got a lot of ways to own that zone for sure. That's very cool. Can you share maybe something as you're forward looking into the next year, something that excites you or scares you? It's obviously an uncertain economic environment, but you are growing amidst all of it and have been. What are you looking forward to?
So, looking forward to, I'm like I said, an engineer by background. So the design thing is something that I find quite natural and I enjoy a great deal. the hiring of operators, I never realized how rewarding that would be. Where I've gotten used to hiring the engineer who well-educated, well-paid. If it weren't for Gilero, they'd probably do just fine. And, we're so happy to have such a talented team. The pleasant surprise has been the operators, folks that are living or working in rural North Carolina. Maybe they're a first generation immigrant, but hiring these folks where you're really changing their life by bringing an important job to them. They're working in a really great environment. It's clean. It's actually a clean room. So it's a healthy environment. They're doing something that for all intents and purposes helps humanity. And then just financially, you're able to change their life by providing a good job. And so we're scaling up our manufacturing locations both here in the United States and in Mexico, and you can see this change in the lives of those folks really, really apparently.
I love it. You're such an inspiration, Ted. It's really great to have you on our program today. How can people find you or reach out to you?
Easiest is email, probably. Mosler, TMOSLER @Gilero.com. Our company is Gilero.com, GILERO.com. So you can find me there pretty easily.
Fantastic. So good to talk with you. Always, again, an inspiration. And I'm glad that you continue to innovate and invest in North Carolina and globally. Great to have you on, Ted. Thanks.
Thank you, JiNan. It's great to speak to you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Own Your Zone podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.